Hello and welcome back. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how I use Adobe Express, the beta version. You would get access to the beta version if you just launch your Creative Cloud app, and then you have the applications here, and you have the Adobe Express beta. And by the way, when we are here, when you go to your files, you have your folders and your libraries. So this is cool because here you have all your libraries and files and libraries. Just you need to have that in mind because the libraries are reflected in all your Adobe apps where you have access to, and from any app you have access. So let's hide that, and I'm just going to explain you shortly what you see here on the canvas. Basically, if you tap on Adobe Express, you always get back to that screen, which is quite helpful sometimes. And here you can start with different sizes. These are designed or made for several different destinations, tools, apps. So you can also use the generative AI by using Firefly within Adobe Express. So these are what you can do from the front page. Here you have the ability to text to image and the text effects according to what you prompt in. And below you see different templates, but you have the better access from the left side. And when you have start with a certain size, you better go to social media, and then you have here the different sizes for different destinations. You can also go to the video thing. Basically, it's all what you need everywhere. So, and even a document if you want to do a flyer. And here is one thing you need to know. If you go to your profile and go to settings, you can either change the language of your canvas. I did it for this tutorial to English, and also the format. The format is quite important. For example, you have US letter size, what we here in Europe don't have. We have DIN forms, so if you change that per piece here, it's going to change all the sizes from some flyers and letters. So keep that in mind. But basically, you can change that whatever you want. You have different settings you can use. So here you can start with a plus. When you have a plus, you can go with suggested sizes, quick actions, which is text to image, or different things you need to probably amend your files. Like for example, if you want to have a picture, you want to convert to SVG or to JPEG to a PDF, or stuff like that. Or you can either, you know what you want, you can start with a new project to a selected size. Then here is the home. And this is my stuff. It's called my stuff. My stuff means either projects I already did. I made some folders because I named them temporary because since now or so far at the time of this video, they are not synchronized with the old beta, which is that one. The old beta files are not synced to the new ones, so keep that in mind. And then you have your brands. If you want to save your brand, you need a paid subscription. If you don't have Creative Cloud, you need a paid subscription to do that. But if you have Creative Cloud, this is all in, or I think with the photography subscription it's in too. Then I have my libraries. These are reflected in all Adobe apps as well. Brands means you can create a brand. I'm going to show you that, where I just upload my fonts, or I choose my fonts. I can even add some graphics. That's what I did. You can do that for different brands and create new one. And as I said, these are the files I already did. And it's also written here, looking for prior work. We got you, and when beta ends, you will move to your files. That means all what you had before in Adobe Express, in the old Adobe Express, you will have it in the new one then too. So for example, these are my projects I have in the old Adobe Express. They are not going to reflect here, but they will do as soon as the Adobe Express beta is in the A version. This means this is my stuff. Here is a schedule. The schedule means you can plan your posts within Adobe Express. I will show you that later. But that also means you have to connect let's go to the month. You have to connect your social media channels to this tool. then it's going to work. I also have to say at this time, reels or videos are not shared yet. It will come, but at this time it's not possible. So then we go to Explore tab. Explore means you can go templates. You can start with a template, which sometimes is really a good idea to do or to have a starting point to get inspired of. You can also go with different photos. These are all free photos. It also has free videos. Then it has design assets, which you all have later on access to also when you get started with something, or backgrounds. So I want to show you something I did. And because of that, I'm going to show you an animation, what you really can create cool animations like a pro. Let me show you something. Let's go back to the home, that we see everything. First, I'm going to show you an animation I saw on TV, on the German TV. I really loved it. So I think let's do that. I can create that with Adobe Express too. So hang tight. Animation shows up now here in the lower third. So let's play. Have you seen it? Let's replay that. Okay, you got it. So I thought I want to do that. I really liked animation and the font choice. I really loved it. So that was my basic idea. And I created an animation. I called it new animation here. I double click on my project. It's going to reopen. And that's what I did. So and how did I? So that's really cool. Let me zoom in a bit. I can zoom in here. Let's do that for 100%. You can see it closer. And it's played again. So what I did, I'm going to put that up. First, I started with using a font. And for that one, this is a group. I used the Playfair display and here a railway. Then I add with the text tool, add new text. And the new animation, the new animation. Let's do the Playfair display as well. Makes it bold. Let's make it even black. Then we shrink that a bit. And if you see that when you hover over the line, you get that move tool. And what you also need to do if you want to change anything on your text, you need to mark it by double clicking it and it's gonna be highlighted. Then we simply copy it. I hit Alt on my keyboard, look that my move tool is coming, Alt on my keyboard, and just drag it down. That's now somewhere it is it. And I double click on it. Let's do that again. It's not going to work today, seems. Okay, let's do that. Here you can go back, this is the back button and the forward button, and we make simply a copy, Control-C, Control-V, Control-Z. Doesn't want to do today. Okay, I don't know what's going on here today. Really funny. Let's go out here and mark it. This is not working. Control-C, Control-V. Okay, then we go the old way, old style, and we just say duplicate here in the text above left, and double click and mark it all, Control-A. Then we say, I hit the all caps tab, the new animation in Express, we say it like that. Then we make it railway, Control-A, railway. Then I make it a bit smaller and just put it like so here, approximately, so we can align that later on. Then we have that line here. So I go to my elements, and then here have design elements. I don't use them so much. Backgrounds, not either. Then you have the shapes, they're quite important, and you have icons. So shapes, these both I use a lot. Probably most of the the shapes, because shapes, there are a lot of really cool different styles. And let's say line. And then we take that one here. And we see it again. Not funny thing, huh? Then we have here the layers. When you open here at the right side, you can move the layers. Sometimes this is really helpful because sometimes you get lost, you don't know where you are, you just click on that, and it also clicks it on the canvas. You know, when you click here, it recovers in your canvas. So the line is back again, then we make it a bit longer. Similar size as the width of the first text, then we also see that we need to move that a bit down. And you also get these rulers here, and this is really cool, it snaps also. And then we also need this little square. I go back to my elements, and then with the shapes, I need to cancel that. Then I want to rectangle, that works. This time I think I'm going to take a red one from my brand. I can select my brand here, can go on that little toggle icon. I can use my brands, which has that brand sign, but I also can go, of course, if you have some different type of like mood boards, you can take your mood board for that. And here you can even add a new library if you need to do within your new assets or your new styles, a new library. And this is, of course, my brand I can choose for, or I can go back to more even here, or I can go to a custom one, like for example, a blue one. So I made a copy of that one. And it should be reflected here as well. So this square is going now here at that point behind the T. I learned from the animation from the TV that the rectangle is overlapping the second font of the upper line half. So let's move that to see it below our text. It's not really cool that I chosen such a dark. Let's take a lighter one so we can have better contrasts. So the second would be about here, and it need to be about half from the ground line of the first upper text to the under text. So that would mean that we take it a bit up, about that. And approximately the left end of the first letter is the middle of the rectangle. Sometimes, or approximately, it really depends on your font as well. But we leave it for the moment. And we need to now to animate that stuff, you know. And then when it comes to that, we need to have our timeline. So this is your timeline. As soon, if you can't see it, you just go to one thing, of one asset of your new animation, and you choose animation. As soon as you choose somewhere an animation, your timeline shows up. In case of that, I'm going to delete that for now so we can see that we're doing from scratch. So what we need to do, this shows up from the bottom, this shows up from the top, and this rectangle comes in from the left, and this line is going to expand. So that's how it works. As soon as you click on one of your assets, you can show layer timing here below. Then you see how long this is going to show up. We start with a new animation. Let's go to animation, and we say it's coming down from top, and it's slowly coming. So because you can see it's coming like slowly, that's what we need. The difference between them are just how they show up. Because within the animation, you can change. So for example, I can do it from above or from below. And as we know, it comes to the middle, that is fine. Same we do for that, but it comes from from above. That means this is rise, but we don't rise from below, we rise from above. And let's play that. That's exactly what we need. And I just see that that one is a bit too much below. We need to move that a bit up. So we have that. Now the line is coming. we want the line to grow, actually. It needs to grow. That's that one. You can change how it grows. It grows smoothly, or it should grow energetic, and it goes faster, or loud, it pops really. So I think I go with the soft one because I need to work with the rest. And finally, we need to animate the rectangle coming in, sliding in from the left. That means it slides in slowly. That's what I want. And from the left, this is already at the left. We can even change the duration. So let's play that. So I think we need to the line needs to start a bit later. So what we need to do at the moment, every asset we have here is starting at the same time at the beginning. That's what we see here when we click on it. This starts at the same time, but the line, let's start the line a bit later. And let's play that again. We still see that this is still not perfect, because when we are here, the line is touching the text. That's not what I really want. So that is still not what I want. So what we need to do, we need to bring in the upper text a bit faster. That means the duration is less. Let's go back to about 2. Let's put that in 2. Or we can do even the line slower. That's probably the better way. It's still not cool. It's still touching. Let's do it 180 or 170. Let's do it 170. And now let's play that for one while for one. That's okay, but we start the line a bit later. Now it's better, but think the text is too fast. So let's make that 190 still. Let's move that again. And we go back. I think it's better 1.2 because it's not fitting then with the rest, with the one below. But we go in with the line a bit later. We make the later a bit later. And we go longer, about 1.8. Let's see. Oh, sorry. I just moved that. Go back here. Let's play. Now it's quite cool. Let's do that again. That's perfect, I would say. So that's how we did the animation. But finally, what we have now, something. When the video ends here, nothing is going to happen. But how we can do that, everything is going to fade at the end. Let's do that. We just group them. So every single piece has its own animation at the start, but finally at the end, it's going to different. It's the same for all, I mean. So let's group them. The animation is still the same. So everything is like before, but now we can give an overall end. So we click on the group. You see that the group shows up. It's grouped here. And we give that group an animation in the out. So we make a fade. So let's play that again. Everything looks great. And at the end, everything fades out. Just perfect. I think it's just so cool. Let me show you something else what I did. I go to my home and my stuff. I'm going to show you that one. So here, let's just reduce here you can move or the size of your timeline. You can choose here below, you see. And let's play that. So this is, I really made all within Adobe Express. You can't believe, but it is. So I think the most interesting for you is just how I did this pop-up little icons and maybe where I get the music from. At this point, it's probably good to say that we have some things here to do. For products, for example, if you have two selected, you can align them the way you want. That's cool. And also what you can do, you can change the background. That's what we see here at the end. I have a background. So I change the color to white, for example. It will fade out different. Then it will fade out to white because everything has a background. I'm going to undo that. Also, I could do a theme, then it will change all. For example, if we go to that fade theme, then it changed everything. That's not really what we want. Let's undo that. And what I also can go, I can go to my stuff. I can go to my brands. That's here, to my brand, this is here. And that can have access to my brand, which I just can drag in my stuff. I also, let's undo that. Or for example, I want add my logo here, I just drag that in. Make it somewhere, I don't know, probably here, I don't know. But also you have access at this time. I'm gonna, for example, if you use your Creative Cloud library, that's what for example, I upload all my stuff here, so I always have access. I have the library here reflected here, so all the same what we had before. You can just drag it in. So when you have photos, you can upload it to your library, you can drag it in and make cool animations or cool posts. That's how it works. If you think, oh, I want to have the same for another size, for example, I want to make from this video like I don't know, YouTube video landscape, you can choose that one and resize. And of course, you need to make everything needs to be resized as well. That's not really what we do. But I think the possibilities are quite endless. And also, what you need to know, you have these add-ons here. You can have more access to other apps. Dropbox, what I miss here actually is Google Drive, because then it would be a lot more helpful. And what I also need to do at this point is that when you think, for example, you have two different backgrounds or two different photos, I here have everywhere the same background. When you think there is no transition between them. So when, for example, let's change the first background to another, here we can replace it, we can copy, delete, or change the layer stack. And I can even add that to my library, to my brand library from here. But let's change that. And we think, I just take that just to show you something. When you play that now and you think there is no transition, because now we have no transition because the background picks. Because sometimes when you are probably using like Instagram Reels, you know that you can make transitions between. I was first clicking here, but it's just adding a new slide, because when you're creating new stuff or make it longer, you can, when it's a photo, you can drag it here. But sometimes you can just add a new scene and add that. And the transition actually works different here. You can not add it here in the middle. It works on your file. So what we need to fade is actually the photo here, that it works to that one I have here in the background. So what I do, I click on the photo, go to animation, and say in the out, fade. Then I can play that again. You see that? Now we have a white background. That's why it fades to white. It fades to white. And the trick is now we need to copy that background picture. I Control C. Sorry, that was the wrong one. Control C, background layer selected, Control C. Go back to that one, paste, and change it in the layer stack to the very, very bottom. And let's do that again. And this one has no animation on it. That's what we did. You see the selected one is not the woman. It's the one we had from the second scene. It shouldn't have any animation. In animation, then it works. So let's play that again. Here we go. Because the fade comes from the first to the lower stack, and then you have the faded animation between the backgrounds. That's how it works. Now let's have a closer look how I did this pop animation. So we have here a photo, which is actually cropped. You can crop photos. I'm going to show you how that works. For that, I go to Media, and I go to, I can upload something from my device, but I go to my stuff, to my brands, to my library, then I go to my collection, just drag in one of my photos, like that one, for example. I put it in. If you decide you want it as a background, you just hit set as background. You can even remove something you don't want, or you can remove the background if you want within Adobe Express, all working. But what we want to crop that to a certain size. And that's actually the problem, because when you take media from your libraries, you can't crop. Too bad. How it works to create this, I'm going to show you that on a photo from media. So we take that normal photo. It's not from a library. You can upload something from your hard drive, then it works as well. Then you get this crop here. And what we want to have a square, a circle, and we hit OK, because it's exactly what I want. So here we have it. And what we need to do, we need to have like you can't give this here now a border. That's what you need to do. And we need to go to our elements, take the circle shape. We have it already black, and we move that. We take our photo here, drag it up in the stack, and then we fit that and make that a bit bigger, so we exactly have like a border we really want. That works like so. It's a bit too much here, and since we have this cool rulers that works, this grid setting, I don't know its word. So what we're going to do now, we're going to group them. This is the shape. We can have control here. We can even change that if we want to change. And also a possibility would be to give the border a black one and the fill a white one. Then you can reduce the opacity of the photo. That's all possible. And you can change here the thickness, and we can also change how this shape or this line look like. So we don't have that, because we don't have any border at the moment, because it's just a shape. So we group that with the photo. This is the photo and this is the shape. Control G. And now it's a group. You can also group that here from that part. And what I did from that, it's actually the same. And we have an animation, it pops in, strong. So we have the same intensity, is strong. This is the duration, everything is the setting, what we already have in. It pops in, and it's like that, same. And for that, when we play that, it pops in, and this shape here comes from the right. It's nothing else than text. So let's take a text, we add our text, and this is a sample, we call it sample. Then what I do, I mark it, because I want to have a more like the cool dynamic here, because then it looks really cool and consistent. This is cool, because especially when you have more than just one word or something like that. We add a shape. We add that shape here, and when we go here, we can change the fill. We want to have white, and we have the outside or the shape fill. We want to have black. And then what we need to do, I don't want the shape size that big. I just want to have it a bit smaller, and you can even change the font. Let's go back to the font. I think we take another one here, get some examples. Sometimes are cool, but when you have a brand, then it's not really working. So it's just like, I think I'm going with the Montserrat for that moment. We make it bold, like so. As you see, nothing is marked, so it's not going to take it. Let's do that again, and we go with the Montserrat, and we take the bold one, like so. That works. And then we need to give that an animation. We leave that down, we give that an animation from the right, coming in from the right. So animation, it comes in and it comes really fast. Let me see, I think it's the slide one. We check that. We may drop in, the drop in. Okay, the drop in, drop, and from the right. This is from the right. So, and when we play that, time is not working. So it's just a matter of time now. They are coming at the same time, so we make that a bit later. And we go with that one a bit later than the first one as a circle. Let's play that again. Here we go. And on the second timeline, I'm going to show you they are like flickering. You see that between in the circle? That's easy. The animation is spin in and spin out. That means, you know, it rolls in. The group of that, so the group rolls in. The group rolls in, but only the picture. 2 times clicking, that you can access directly within the group to the picture. So, and the picture itself wiggles. So the group rolls in, the group rolls out, but in between, that means not in the in and not in the end, between, it's gonna twiggle, it's gonna wiggle. So let's play that. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And it stops wiggling before it rolls out. So the group, the photo in the circle wiggles in the middle and has nothing in the out, but the whole group is in the out, in and out, spin in, spin out. That's how it works. And then when it comes with the text, it's just a matter of time what we did before. That's how it works. There is one thing you need to know. If you think you can add videos and crop them within these shapes, it's not going to work. It works with GIFs. For example, that one is actually a GIF, but it's not going to animate. It's solid, how we say, still. It's not going to, the GIFs is like a photo and video doesn't work. That's a bit pretty, because then it would be great if I have something like scrolling on their website. I can put that scroll within this shape, but this is not going to work. And maybe you ask yourself, where does she have this music from? So, well, that's easy. If you go to media, you have videos you can add, or you can audio what you can add. So I just picked one from here. You can even record a voiceover, all no problem. The only thing which is really at the moment a disadvantage, you can't fade out music. However, I didn't find any solution for that. So that's what a problem could be. You can change the volume and you can split music if you go on those three dots, or you can mute it, split, mute, or change volume. And if you want to replace one, you can't click on it and replace it directly. You have to add it from the media panel. And also, as I said, when we are finished now, I think this is cool how we did. You can download it. You can do it in 1080 or even in the 4K. And you can have other different possibilities. For example, if you think you want to download as a JPEG, you can do that, but you get only that frame. And also, if you think you can share what you can do with all the posts, it won't work right now. We can't. You can invite the collaborator. For example, you have a friend or like a collaboration partner. You can someone invite to work on the same document. That works perfect. But keep in mind, if you close that, if you make changes to your creation and go back to home, it's going to save. It's going to overwrite everything. So make sure or keep in mind that. That I just realized before when I did my animation, TV animation, that I saved the wrong one and not that one before, but that's how it works.
There is something I really miss in the new Adobe Express, what we had in the current Adobe Express. So when we go to the share button, we had the possibility to save it as a template so we can reuse it. Let me show you that on an old Adobe Express graphic. So when I go to share, I had the possibility to save it as a template, name it and save as a template so I can reuse it. But here in the new Adobe Express, I don't have that. But I'm sure that's coming in the alpha version when it's ready to go.
However, here you have an add button. You can even add a page, or you can duplicate the page, or you can add a new scene. It's nothing else what you have to here below as well. We can add a title, like summer sale, for example, because this is a new arrival is a text, new arrival. And what is this here? Here is just what I already zoom in because it could be helpful as we see before. And what we can add here, we can view all pages and add pages. For example, you have single posts, you want to have a two-sided flyer or something, you can add it here. I'm going to show you that later, it makes no sense here. However, again, you can't share videos right now, even you have connected your social media. Within the schedule, you can't share videos. That's why I'm going to show you that on another post. For example, let's do a social media for example, Twitter. What I do for Twitter, I'm not going to take that one, not that one, and not that one. What I do, I go to Instagram because I want to have a 4 to 5 portrait posts. So I'm going to go with that. If I do, I'm going to go back one more. I'm going to show you that. If I go with social media, Instagram, portrait, I can browse template first, or I can start from scratch. You get at both, you get the same, actually. And then, for example, if I like something, or you can, if you have something you want to tell, you can search for something. Let's make new. For example, I have a new post, let's search for a new one. And if I like one, I can do that, or can take that as a template and start it from there. Let's take that one. I like the idea. Here, I want to choose that one, that photo here, I want to choose and take one from my library. You can either, that's from here, upload from device, or I can go to my stuff, brands, libraries, here I am already, and I just drag that over. Like so. And we move that down, all the way down, because now I have the possibility to size it and replace it like so, because we have here more possibilities to move that and to resize it as we don't have when it's in the background. So then here I replace that or just delete it. I want to move that away because I want to add my own logo here. So I go to my media, to my stuff. I go to my brand, which is here. I drag in the white version of my signature and fit it to the size. Here we go. And as you can see, this asset here has a kind of a tint. I want to darken that, or let's grayscale that. Would work both, the tint, and also you can change everything with the effects here, that the way you want it. For example, this is not going to work as well. You can even colorize it when you toggle these. I like that one, so let's do the same with that one. Effects, colorize, I think that's the perfect one. You also have the possibility to change or to do some small changes or enhancements of your photo. For example, this tool again, we have the effects already, we have the colorize, but I can do also some adjustments. For example, I can do more contrast, I want the brightness. So for example, in any asset you add, you can do that actually with photos, videos, and assets like these. What it's not working, of course, if you go to the elements and want to have those elements like background, then it's going to work. But with shapes, of course, it's not working, and also not with icons, because you can colorize them whatever you want. For example, I'm going to add those. This one I can colorize, you know. And also cool, you have the multiply and the screen effect. And this can give some nice results. This is just a matter of trying sometimes, because they are blending really cool. It's a good addition when you have with other adjustments you might want to do. You also see with the icons or anything, you have the possibility to also animate them the same way as we did before. Same works, of course. Let's go back there. Let's go back to the shapes. Any shape we did before is going to work. And it goes also, of course, when you go with the assets, design assets. If we add design assets like this brush stroke here, you have the same possibility. You can make adjustment, you can add effects, and also the animation. And sometimes you just want to add something and it's not actually that what you're looking for. So let's go out here, and I want to go to the media. I'm going to search from photos. I'm going to search some flowers, or leaves, for example. Let's search for leaves. And maybe you just want to have this as an asset. And let's go with that one. And as you can see, we don't want that. Huh? We don't want a white background. So first of all, let's check the blending mode. See, it's actually already done. And let's make it a bit darker. So I go to the adjustments and I want to have the saturation down and the general shadows down and the highlights down. Then it's going to be a problem because we have the background. Let's do some more contrast. Let's go down with the saturation even more, a bit like so. And if you think it's not cool, we need even to remove the background, we can do that. Reset them all here. Then we have remove background. For that, I make it a bit bigger and just drag it that we can see it even better. And then let's remove the background. And then when you go back to normal, we did the background removed. So we can just go again with the saturation down, shadows down, the contrast up, and I want the brightness completely down. The highlights too, and saturation even more. I just want to have some cool effects. So now it's going to fit to the composition, and whenever we want to place that, we could even place that and just along that line, for example. And even if you're not happy with some background removing, as we can see it here on the darks, for example, you can go even with your erasure and remove something. In this case, it's kind of hard to see where the white stuff is, but sometimes it could help to enhance your mask, actually, or the removed stuff. When it comes to project, what we see when we go back to our home and we go to my stuff, and often you have a lot of projects. You can, as I said, you can file them with folders. You can add folders here. But for example, if you want to have this composition in another way or another version, I really suggest you are not going to do a new composition by right-click and duplicate. It's better to go into the composition and add a new page and make another version of it. Or let's go back. Or you just duplicate the page and make the amendments here. So you have a consistent, in the same project, you have different versions. Otherwise you get really lost with your projects. This is a small tip. And of course, you can go on the top here and duplicate the page again, or you just delete it. I'm going to delete it now. And now I go back to my home. One more cool feature is that you can place any cloud PSD within your composition directly. That means I have that one in the cloud. It's a PSDC. So I'm going to add that. It makes no sense here, but I just want to show you. You can directly place your cloud Photoshop document directly into your composition. Of course, you can also upload from your device a PSD file. I'm just adding one. I hit OK. But you have to know, then it's going to upload the whole PSD to your PSD to the cloud. It's going to be a PSDC then. Same works also with Illustrator files, of course. Then it's an Illustrator cloud file. Same. You see, it takes a while to upload it. And you will find it later on in your Creative Cloud under your files and your assets. At this time, I need to point out that it's only working with Illustrator files and not with SVGs. But you have the possibility to convert it to a SVG in the Home tab. quick actions, and then you can convert it to a SVG. And then it's a SVG actually to download. Of course, I can change here the text the way I want it. And what you can drag it and resize it all the way. And you can also go like how you want to have it look like in the lines, in the paragraphs. And here you have the opacity control. And what also need to know, for example, let's give this a shape. So I'm now here on the text layer. I want to give that a shape, not a shadow. Let's shape fill, I don't know. I'm going to take that one and I do it with the custom. I take the screen here and I want to make the shape size a bit bigger, like so. And I want to change the look to a square, to a rectangle. And sometimes if you have shapes like so, and you want to make this better looking within the text itself, mark all text. Then I go back to my text tool, Control A, and take the dynamic one, because sometimes this is a bit, especially when you have cool titles, that works really cool. And for example, I want some of my background shining through. That's what I do. When I'm within the shape, I go back with the opacity. So the opacity of the font stays, but the shape is more transparent. So that's really cool. I'm going to go back here. And let's imagine we are finished with our creation, flyer, whatever it is. I want to share that. I go to share and I want to schedule my post on Twitter, as I said. I go, because then here I can do that. And for example, let's do that for the 15th. Then I select here the channel. I want to have Twitter. You can even choose more than one channel. Then you can add your caption. This is one, not too res. This is one of my nature muted beauties. I think it's number 4. And I can even add hashtags. Or if I'm not sure want to post, I can save it as a draft. I can even schedule it now. If I schedule it for the 15th July, I can add even more a second page. For example, if you are doing carousel. So then I schedule that. Here's my schedule. And here I see my post. Let's view the month. It's a bit more better. Then I can go here. I can even add a new one. If I click on it, I can change it to a draft because I'm not sure. We can change the channel, but we can't add one. But we need to do that at the first time. So more options is deleting the post. Then it's gone. But let's do that again. Reopen that. Double click. Share. Let's take Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. So what you need to do, you can't, when you change it, you can't add any channels. You need to do that first. But when you can change one channel, if you can go switch from Twitter to Instagram. As I said previously, I have uploaded in my libraries, in my collection. I did a collection with all my works. So my idea was, I'm going to schedule directly something from my collection. For example, I want to add a post. I browse here, files. So I thought I'm going to directly post or take a file from my stuff, but this is not going to work. So you only can post direct files from my device. I could upload here, but that's not really what I wanted. I would have to do a new post first, though. That would say I would have to actually do a new post. Like, for example, I want to do the Instagram. I go to the Instagram, then a portrait post, and add here from my stuff, libraries, and here from my collection. I would have to add it here, set it as a background, and then I'm able to share it directly on Instagram. Not directly, And that's a kind of a pity because that would be really cool, but it's coming. But there is another cool feature. If you launch your Creative Cloud app on your computer and you go to your files, and for example, I have this PSDC, this cloud PSD file, this cloud Photoshop file, I can go right click, let's mark it, right click, and then plan it. It locks in to your channel of your Adobe Express, and you can select a channel in case you have the channel connected previously. You can add even more media. You can make a caption, and you have the possibility to do it over the mobile app. You can download the mobile app here. You can read more, but you can share it. For example, I posted on the 20th of July. I can even select the time. I can just save it as a draft, but I want to do that. Let's test. We add an emoji even. Yeah. Of course, not cool, but you can even do the first comment if you want, or if you want to just put your hashtags in the comments, some do that. I can just have a look how this works here. I don't know why these icons look weird here. I don't know why really. So however, I schedule it, and now it reflects here directly in my schedule, in my planner. If you want to delete it, you just delete it, or you can move it back to a draft, or you can even duplicate it. But I'm going to delete it because I'm not going to share it. So this is a really cool feature. Probably some of you don't know. So of course this could be endless, this video, because there's so much to tell. But I think the animation is that what I want to show, because you really can do cool animations like TVs, like cool editors, like motion graphics, graphic designers, and that's really cool. And you should definitely check it out. And one more time, if you don't see it, you go to Application, your Creative Cloud, and it's here. And we click on it. You can also find it on the new .express.adobe.com. Then you get access. So I hope this was helpful for you. You can do cool animations now in Adobe Express. And let's see you.